Welcome to IAS Academy. Prior to the 2022 preliminary exam, we will cover 15 previous year MCQs daily in a video. That is a total of 2500 plus MCQs before the exam. So let's start the session. Our first question is, which one of the following was initially the most powerful city-state of India in the 6th century BC? Options are Gandhar, Kamboj, Kashi and Magadh. Here question is asking about initially the most powerful city, that is starting of 6th century. So answer must be Kashi, because initially Kashi was most powerful, that is at the starting of 6th century BC Kashi was most powerful. But then later, half of 6th century, Magadh emerged as the most powerful kingdom. So here answer is Kashi. Kashi was one of the 16 Mahajanapadas and one of the great states that emerged in northern India at the start of 6th century BC. The period of Mahajanapadas is also known as period of second urbanization, as the center of polity and economy shifted from India's northwest to eastern states. Of the 16 Mahajanapadas, Magadh, Kosala, Vatsa and Avanti were more powerful. They fought amongst themselves for years. However, over the years, Magadh gained sovereignty and became the most powerful Mahajanapada. Magadh was the most powerful city-state of India in the 6th century. It was nucleus for many big kingdoms like Mauryas and Guptas between 684 BC to 320 BC. But the question is about initial stage of the 6th BC. So don't confuse it with Magadh, because Kashi is the most powerful city at the starting of 6th century. Then later Magadh emerged as the most powerful in 6th BC. So here answer must be Kashi. Question number 2. Consider the following events. Region of Krishna Deva of Vijaynagara, construction of Qutab Minar, arrival of Portuguese in India, death of Firoz Tughlaq. Correct chronological sequence of these events is, here answer to this question is option A 2431. That is, construction of Qutab Minar, death of Firoz Tughlaq, arrival of Portuguese and region of Krishna Deva. Building process of Qutab Minar took about 75 years. Its construction was started by Qutbuddin Aibak in 1193 and finished by Iltutmish. Sultan Firoz Shah Tughlaq was ruler of Tughlaq dynasty. He died in 1388. The first Portuguese to land in India was Vasco da Gama in 1498. Thus, da Gama is credited with the discovery of sea route to India. However, the period of Portuguese rule in India is said to be between 15th century to 19th century. Krishna Deva of Vijaynagara, one of the greatest emperors of India, he was the most famous king of the Tuluva dynasty of Vijaynagara Empire, who ruled from 1509 to 1529. So here answer to this question is option A 2431. Question number 3. Simon Commission of 1927 was boycotted because option A, there was no Indian member in the commission. Option B, it supported the Muslim League. Option C, Congress felt that people of India are entitled to Swaraj. Option D, there were differences among the members. The answer to this question is option A, there was no Indian member in the commission. Simon Commission was composed entirely of British members, with not a single Indian member being included in it. This was seen as an insult to Indians, who were right in saying that their destiny could not be determined by a handful of British people. Indians were outraged at their exclusion from the commission. Congress party decided to boycott the commission at their session at Madras in 1927. When the commission landed in February 1928, there were mass protests, hartals and black flag demonstrations all over the country. People were chanting the slogan, "Simon go back." So here answer to this question is option A. Question number 4. The Allahabad pillar inscription is associated with which one of the following? Options are Mahapadmananda, Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka and Samudragupta. Here answer can be both Ashoka and Samudragupta. That is both C and D. But that option is not given here. So we will go with option D, Samudragupta. Because Allahabad pillar inscription is especially notable for Samudragupta. So here answer to this question is option D, Samudragupta. In fact, Allahabad pillar is an Ashoka Stampa, one of the pillars of Ashoka, an emperor of Maurya dynasty who reigned in the 3rd century BC. While it is one of the few extant pillars that carry his edicts, it is particularly notable for containing a later inscription, also known as Prayag Prashasti. It is attributed to the 4th century Gupta emperor Samudragupta and follows immediately below the edicts of Ashoka. It is considered the most important historical documents of classical Gupta age. It's in excellent Sanskrit, written in more refined Gupta script by poet and minister Harsena. Inscription by Mughal Emperor Jahangir from 17th century are also engraved on this pillar. So here answer to this question is option D, Samudragupta. Question number 5. Estuaries possess distinct blooms of excessive growth of pigmented dinoflagellates. These blooms are called, options are red tides, sea tides, black tides and sea flowers. Here answer to this question is option A, red tides. An estuary is a place where a river or a stream opens into sea. Harmful algal blooms occur in estuaries when colonies of algae grow out of control and produce toxic or harmful effects on people, fish, shellfish, marine mammals and birds. While many people call these blooms red tides, scientists prefer the term harmful algal blooms. This type of bloom is caused by a species of dinoflagellates known as Carenia brevis. These single-cell organisms are able to swim short distances. When the algae present in high concentration, the water appears purple or pink in color. So here answer to this question is option A, red tides. Question number 6. Some people in Manipur live in houses built on floating islands of weeds and decaying vegetation held together by suspended silt. These are called, options are Tipis, Barkhans, Phoomdis and Isba. Here answer to this question is option C, Phoomdis. Phoomdis are a series of floating islands exclusive to the Loktak Lake in Manipur. Loktak is not just a lake. For Manipuris, she is goddess Loktak. And for several thousands of fishermen who depend on her for their livelihood, she is Emma, that is mother. A floating assortment of soil, vegetation and organic matter in various stages of decay, the Phoomdi clump together to form islands that move around freely on the lake. Their shape and size morphing throughout the air. For Métis fishermen who have inhabited the region for centuries, it is a fundamental unit of life. They build their houses on top of it and carve out the adhafam by cutting Phoomdi into rectangular strips, tying them together and arranging them in a circle. After divers anchor it down with heavy rocks, a huge net is cast within adhafam and left for anywhere from 15 days to 2 months. So here answer to this question is option C, Phoomdis. Question number 7. In India, if a species of tortoise is declared protected under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972, what does it imply? Option A, it enjoys the same level of protection as tiger. That is correct. Option B, it no longer exists in the wild. A few individuals are under captive protection. That is incorrect. Option C, it is endemic to a particular region of India. That is incorrect. Option D, both B and C stated above are correct. That is also incorrect. So here answer to this question is option A. It enjoys the same level of protection as tiger. Wildlife Protection Act 1972 was enacted for the protection of country's wild animals, birds and plant species in order to ensure environmental and ecological security. Among other things, the Act lays down restrictions on hunting many animal species. There are 6 schedules provided in this Act. Schedule 1 covers endangered species. These species are granted protection from poaching, killing, trading, etc. Tiger reserve areas are reserved for protection and conservation of tigers in India under Schedule 1. So, if a species of tortoise is declared protected under Schedule 1, it enjoys the same level of protection as tiger. So, here answer to this question is option A. Question number 8. Which article of the Constitution of India says, no child below the age of 14 years shall be employed to work in any factory or mine or engaged in any other hazardous employment? Options are Article 24, Article 45, Article 330 and Article 368. The answer to this question is option A, Article 24. Article 24, Prohibition of employment of children in factories, etc. Article 24 states that no child below the age of 14 years shall be employed to work in any factory or mine or engaged in any other hazardous employment. So here answer to this question is option A, Article 24. Question number 9. In the context of Indian news, what is MCX-SX? Options are a kind of supercomputer, title of Moon Impact Probe, stock exchange and nuclear powered submarine. Here answer to this question is option C, stock exchange. Metropolitan Stock Exchange of India Limited, that is MSE, formerly known as MCX Stock Exchange, that is MCX-SX. Here SX is for stock exchange. It's a government-owned stock exchange recognized by SEBI. under Section 4 of Securities Contracts Act 1956. It is under the ownership of Ministry of Finance of Government of India. MSE offers an electronic, transparent and high-tech platform for trading in capital market, futures and options, currency derivatives and debt market segments. The exchange has also received principal approval from SEBI for operationalizing SME trading platform. So here answer to this question is option C, stock exchange. Question number 10. In the context of independent India's economy, which one of the following was the earliest event to take place? Options are nationalization of insurance companies, nationalization of SBI, enactment of Banking Regulation Act, introduction of first 5-year plan. The answer to this question is option C, enactment of Banking Regulation Act. That was in 1949, which regulates the functioning of banks and provides details on various aspects such as licensing, management and operations of banks. The first 5-year plan was launched in 1951 and since then India had launched 12 5-year plans. 12th plan was the last. Its duration was from 2012 to 2017. In 1955, India nationalized Imperial Bank of India with extensive banking facilities on large scale, especially in rural and semi-urban areas. It formed SBI to act as the principal agent of RBI and to handle banking transactions of the union and state governments all over the country. Nationalization of the life insurance in the year 1956 was among the major steps for bringing the insurance sector under direct public ownership and control. So here answer to this question is option C. Enactment of Banking Regulation Act was in 1949. That was the first. Question number 11. The known forces of nature can be divided into 4 classes, that is gravity, electromagnetism, weak nuclear force and strong nuclear force. With reference to them, which one of the following statement is not correct? Option A, gravity is the strongest of the 4. That is incorrect because gravity is the weakest. Option B, electromagnetism acts solely on particles with an electric charge. That is correct. Option C, weak nuclear forces causes radioactivity. That is correct. Option D, strong nuclear force holds protons and neutrons inside the nucleus of an atom. That is correct. So here answer to this question is option A. Actually, gravity is the weakest of the 4 fundamental forces. Ordered from strongest to weakest, the forces are: first one, the strong nuclear force; second one, the electromagnetic force; third one, the weak nuclear force; and fourth one is gravity. So here answer to this question is option A is incorrect. Question number 12. What is Bisphenol A? That is BPA. Option A medical test for detecting cancer. Option B, a test for testing the use of drugs to improve performance by athletes. Option C, a chemical used for the development of food packaging materials. Option D, a special type of alloy steel. Here answer to this question is option C, a chemical used for the development of food packaging materials. Bisphenol A, that is BPA, is a chemical produced in large quantities for use primarily in the production of polycarbonate plastics. It's found in various products including water bottles, epoxy resins that coat some metal food cans, bottle tops and water supply pipes. Some animal studies suggest that infants and children may be the most vulnerable to the effects of BPA. Parents and caregivers can make the personal choice to reduce exposure of their infants and children to BPA. So please don't microwave polycarbonate plastic food containers. Here answer to this question is option C. Question number 13. Consider the following diseases. Options are diphtheria, chickenpox and smallpox. Which of the above diseases has or have been eradicated in India? Here answer to this question is option B, 3 only, that is smallpox only. When a disease stops circulating in a region, it's considered eliminated in that region. Smallpox is the only disease eradicated from India. The last known smallpox case was reported in 1975 from Kaidar district of Bihar. If a particular disease is eliminated worldwide, it is considered eradicated. To date, only one infectious disease that affects humans has been eradicated. That is, in 1980, after decades of efforts by the World Health Organization, the World Health Assembly endorsed a statement declaring smallpox eradicated. Coordinated efforts rid the world of a disease that had once killed up to 35% of its victims and left others scarred or blind. So here answer to this question is option 3. Option B, 3 only, that is smallpox. Question number 14. India is an important member of the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor. If this experiment succeeds, what is the immediate advantage for India? Option A, it can use thorium in place of uranium for power generation. Option B, it can attain a global role in satellite navigation. Option C, it can drastically improve the efficiency of its fission reactors in power generation. Option D, it can build fusion reactors for power generation. The answer to this question is option D, it can build fusion reactors for power generation. International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor is an international nuclear fusion research and engineering mega project aimed at replicating the fusion process of the Sun to create energy on Earth. Upon completion of construction of the main reactor and first plasma plant for late 2025, it will be the world's largest magnetic confinement plasma experiment. It is funded and run by 7 member parties, that is China, European Union, India, Japan, Russia, South Korea and United States. So here answer to this question is option D, it can build fusion reactors for power generation. Question number 15. The Security Council of UN consists of 5 permanent members and the remaining 10 members are elected by the General Assembly for a term of, options are 1 year, 2 years, 3 years and 5 years. Here answer to this question is option B, 2 years. Established in 1945, the United Nations Security Council is one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations, charged with the maintenance of international peace and security as well as accepting new members to United Nations and approving any changes to UN Charter. It's the only UN body with the authority to issue binding resolutions to member states. A total of 15 members are there in UN Council, out of which 5 are permanent and 10 are non-permanent. 5 permanent members include China, France, Russia Federation and UK and US. The non-permanent members are elected for 2-year terms by United Nations General Assembly. 5 members of UNSC are replaced every year for 2-year term. So here answer to this question is option B, 2 years. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. We will continue with the next set.